Hi everyone, it's Michael, and I'm so excited because I've been waiting so impatiently for this package to come. The poor USPS girl, the second she arrived, I was like, hi, could you just open your car and get that for me right now? So thank you for being accommodating, stranger. But I'm really excited about this because I decided I want to try to grow orchid flasks. I've never done this before. I have no experience with it whatsoever, but I spent the last week consuming some resources and doing some research, so I'm hoping I'm positioned in such a way that I will succeed with these. Now, I did buy two types of orchids. I bought a flask of the Encyclia Tampensis, and it is a really, really lovely species from Florida. And then the second one is a cross between the Epidendrum Magnoliae, also known as the green fly orchid, and it is crossed with the Encyclia Tampensis Alba. So this one is supposed to be really beautiful and green with just a tiny white lip. So I'm really curious to see how this goes. I haven't even unboxed this. So let's open it up and see what happens. I always feel nervous about these things, and there's no reason to be, but let's just go for it. Eee! Wow, these are, this is so significantly different than I anticipated it being, but they look really good. It appears as if they have been, or I don't know, maybe they were already deflasked and then put into this container, but I'll take you in closer. You can see exactly what I'm seeing. But they are just, there's tons of little plantlets in there. I wonder how many there's actually gonna be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna begin the process of, I guess it's not called unpotting when it's just this guy, but I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna do. So what I have here are two containers that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. Thank you so much for the affordable finds, Dollar Tree. But what I have inside, for the past 48 hours I've been soaking my leca pellets. Because these are baby orchid plants and they're super sensitive, I want to make sure that everything is leached fully out of these leca pellets. So I've been soaking them for the past 48 hours. I'm going to go ahead and pull the duct tape off of the front that I used to cover the drainage holes so I can drain out that water. There we go. All right, my friends, now that these have been drained, I'm going to go ahead and begin the process of unpotting or repotting, whatever you would call what you're doing to these when they are seedlings. But I'm going to pot all of these into here and all of these into here. The answer is yes, you can pot them individually, but what my research showed me was that you're not supposed to pot them individually if they're not significant enough in size or independent enough as plants. Now, it was interesting because I looked up what Ray Barkalow had to say about potting flask babies into semi-hydroponics. And there's actually a fair amount of literature on the matter. A lot of people use leca just for additional drainage in the process of repotting. But he said that what you should do is really just take the entire blob of agar, or I don't know if I'm saying that right, but basically that weird, it's the medium for the seedlings. It's the nutrient solution soil type thing that's in here that is all black. He says that you can just drop this directly into the leca, and over the course of watering the plants, the flush of water will slowly pull that agar out of the root system, and it'll eventually wash itself through the drainage holes. But after watching a bunch of different ones, it seems like sanitizing is still a really important step. Now, I wasn't sure that would be a factor because since they are flask babies and they've been in a very sterile environment, I would assume that they would be sterile. Everyone is saying that you should still sanitize them, so I'm going to give that a go. So because these are babies and they're more sensitive, I'm going to make sure that I'm using tepid to warm water so I don't shock them completely. And then I'm going to take them one by one and I'm going to rinse them through the warm water before I place them just gently on top of the leca. So I'll take you in closer and we can look at what that process looks like. I'm going to go ahead and bust this guy open. And let's see what we've got. I'm basically just going to take these and I'm going to swirl them into the warm water one by one. But I really don't want to damage them, so let's just, I'm going to actually take out the entire blob and just swirl it around in there. Oh, they seem so happy. Oh, weird. This stuff feels like a eel or something. It's weird. Huh. This is kind of peculiar because I feel like I don't know where one plant starts and another ends. Now you can see I could in theory just leave this as an entire block, but my concern would be that the root system would just all grow together and you wouldn't be able to distinguish plants from another, and then you would do some serious damage in the process of repotting. So that's why I am not going to do that. See, they've already kind of grown together and it makes it really difficult to figure out what is what. Okay, there we go. We're making some progress. All right. Okay, there's a lot of plants in here, you guys. Well, now, what I have learned to expect is there's going to be some attrition. Of course, some of these plants are going to die, especially the ones that are too small to support themselves. Honestly, I don't think this is 25 plants. I think this is 1.5 million plants. I don't even know. This is crazy. Right, you guys. I actually had to stop filming for a little while because this was somewhat overwhelming. This is not 25 plants. This is around 39 plants. And that is me counting these, excluding the little ones that are super, super tiny. So this is more orchids than I thought. So now what I'm going to do as the next step in the process, now that I have them all separated out, is I'm just going to go ahead and take my solution of hydrogen peroxide and I'm just going to give them a gentle spritz to help the disinfecting process. And since these are just baby plantlets, I'm going to reduce the amount of time that I usually give for the hydrogen peroxide treatment. Okay, Google, set a timer for 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes, and here we go.
All right, guys, the 5-minute treatment is over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and give these a quick rinse in some fresh water. And then I'm going to go ahead and just place it very, very loosely right on top. So as I understand it, these should just venture right down into the leca. No sphagnum moss needed. The humidity should just encourage them to grow downward. And I'm hoping that's true because otherwise I have to rework this entire game plan. So I'm just going to go through that process. All right, you guys, that was a very time-consuming process, but I did go ahead and place each of these orchids individually so that the roots were making contact with the moist leca. And now what I'm going to do is the same thing I always do after a repot and an antibacterial treatment. I am going to water with just plain distilled. Now, the reason I do that is because it has stripped the root system of any mutually beneficial bacteria. I don't know if that applies as much as it does with fully grown orchids as it does with seedlings. But either way, I'm going to be cautious and just use plain distilled water. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill to the water reservoir. Make sure I don't overflow this bad boy. Okay, there we are. And I do want to maintain a higher level of humidity. So I did decide that I'm going to go ahead and use it. I placed it so that the leaves could all be gently folded in, like so. I'm going to go ahead and take my lid and I'm going to pop it open so that the air is able to flow just slightly because I want to acclimate it to a less humid environment slowly. I'm going to go ahead and put this right on top. I just don't want to hurt any of the cute little leaves. And I'm just going to, oh, I just crunched one, unfortunately. Okay. Gentle, Michael, gentle. All right, my friends, and there we are. I have them fully repotted here. Now, I'm sure you've noticed I did take my pick of the litter and I potted him up individually. I'm gonna place this one right next to the ultrasonic humidifier and see if having an individual potting is really beneficial. Now, from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna watch these really closely. If I find that there's a lot of die-off, I might renegotiate my tactics. If I find that this one is doing phenomenally well and doing much better than the others, I will probably transition all of these to being potted individually. I'm not sure yet. So I think the next step is to just wait and watch. So I have this with bright shade. It's imperative that these do not get direct sunlight because these are delicate plants and they will easily burn. So that being said, I have it placed right here, right next to this window, but it will never receive direct sunlight. It'll just get some bright shade all day. So I think this should be just perfect and I'm hoping for the best. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat this process with my Epidendrum Magnoliae crossed with my Encyclia Tampensis Alba. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or feedback, please leave it in the comments section below. If you have any experience with growing orchids from flask, please let me know any insights you have. I would greatly appreciate it. And wish me luck. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.